Cool.
Oh, that's the wrong meeting. Sorry, I put the link to the wrong meeting in the agenda, so please bear with me while I figure that out. That's the release team meeting, which you all don't need. Anyway, thank you for joining. This is the February meeting of the Localization Subproject group. I'll put the correct doc link in the agenda for you all to join and follow along. I'll also share my screen in a few minutes here if I can figure out on Zoom. While we get going, I just would like to remind everyone that this is a official Kubernetes community meeting. So we subscribe to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which boils down to being excellent to each other. So as we go through our agenda, please keep that in mind as we're interacting. And if you do have any concerns or any things that you want to raise about this meeting, there is a link to how to submit that to the rest of the CNCF at the link at the bottom, bottled in here. If you notice any code of conduct violations or anything you want to chat about, please feel free to reach out there. Like I mentioned before, this is our second meeting of the year, so it is February 5th, 2024. And we do have a few things on the agenda, so I'll dive right in. Up first, do we have any new folks who'd like to say hello?
Hi, I'm from BN Localization team, Kubernetes and Glossary.
Hello, welcome. Anyone else? Okay, we could dive in. First, this is a follow-up item from the last meeting. So we are doing some cleanup activities within the Kubernetes repo, and there's also a broader effort across the community to clean up people who have been inactive for a certain amount of time. So our Vietnamese localization was flagged as two of their approvers and reviewers were going to be inactive, and that would take out all of the people who were official approvers and reviewers for that whole localization. So I reached out to them in Slack, and we did hear back from a member who was still interested in contributing. And they commented on the issue that Divya has, the PR that Divya has created here. Let's see if I can bring that up. That they're still interested and that they would like to nominate another person from their team. I think that I'm just going to continue to follow up with them and reach out. So I think for now, we are fine to continue with the localization, and we'll work with them on getting another approver added to the list. Just for some context, you need to have two people listed as a reviewer and approver in order for people to review. You can't review your own PRs without the repo because there's rules against that. So you need to have two. So if people contribute, you have to have two. And it's just for sustainability reasons. We'd like to make sure people have enough help when PRs come in. So that is not the right thing. Positive to see from the Vietnamese localization. I'll continue to follow up with them. Did anyone have any questions on this cleanup PR or any other activity going on related to this localization? No. Okay. So for next steps, I'll keep working on with them. And that item has brought me to the next point that I put on the agenda, which is creating a localization deprecation policy. So we don't formally have any policy of what to do when this, like I just mentioned, this case arises when people are no longer able to maintain a localization. So I am planning, I haven't created an issue, I just sort of wrote this on the agenda the other day, but I'm planning to create an issue to start a discussion around this topic. But I wanted to see if anyone had any thoughts, just any thoughts about that, or just to let you know that it's coming up, because I do think it's something we kind of need to have around.
I have just one thought here. So I understand that each Kubernetes version has its own documentation, right? I suppose if a localization already exists for some version of Kubernetes, but there isn't a team to continue to update that, could the old version stick around even as an archived? Hey, these are old documents, right?
Yeah, I think
Does that make
the
sense?
thought here, yeah, I think the thought here would be that we'd be able to keep, at least how I was thinking about it, to be able to keep the docs and maybe add in a message saying this is, no longer supported. It's, stopped up to a certain point. If you're interested in contributing, please reach out here, so try to get people who might want to re-engage. Yeah, I would prefer not to delete the docs, but definitely make it known to the people reading the docs that they are not necessarily updated. Just to warn people, we do have that warning on some of the docs that things might be outdated. But yeah, I would definitely like to keep it around because people put a lot of work into translating it and making it available. So I wouldn't like to just delete anything if we can keep it around.
I wonder, is there, with a new policy, so right now you guys are doing a good amount of effort trying to figure out what's going on with the Vietnamese localization. This is effort. I wonder, is the future a future where the whole process is automated, where we have these, I guess, these rules or gates on files where if there has been an update from this team, things just automatically go into, right, yellow flag or something of the sort?
Yeah, so we do have that a little bit, that if things haven't been updated in comparison to the English docs, they'll flag a message. It's not perfect, but we do have that sort of listed on on the localization pages already. But this would be the next step further. That's, we're like, there really will be no more updates, and that it would be a whole relaunch project, a bigger effort to get back to being maintained. I guess is what this policy is more about. Because if people aren't around to maintain it, we have to make sure that they don't have access to the repo in the way that they would, like if they're no longer actively contributing. Again, this is just a normal process that happens within the community. People have to step away, they have to do other things they have to take care of, and sometimes they come back and sometimes they don't. But just for security purposes, we need to make sure, I feel like we should make sure that we have that policy to make sure people are removed and that we are able to communicate that to the community, that how they would reactivate a localization and make sure people know the state of the docs a little bit more clearly. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. That does make sense. Yes, the effort to restart a localization is bigger than just, hey, this is old, and there's also security implication. So that it makes sense why this is a dedicated, or there's a need for a dedicated policy rather than just letting things organically fall in and out of sync.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say I don't know how formal it needs to be, but I do think, like, timing wise, like for this instance, do we give people 3 months of notice to say we're going to shut it down, 6 months of notice, a year notice, like that type of stuff? I want to be a little more formal. I'd like to have a little more formally written, just to even help myself and Soko right now, or future leads and people who take over if this comes up in the future. So yeah,
that makes sense. An aside then is what is the release cadence of notes? I feel like I should know this, but it syncs with Kubernetes releases. How often do those happen? Is it 3 a year?
Kubernetes releases?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's 3. It used to be 4, and that was too much for the community. I think that they trimmed it back to 3 a year.
Gotcha. And does that mean then that there are 3 for every localization, that there are 3 releases a year? What is the, I'm speaking from a place where we're just getting one started, so I don't know what the existing teams are doing.
So contributing members for localization are very not that many, so compared to the English contributors. So I think each localization team need to have their own focus. They can focus on the latest document only. Maybe they can care the main branch only. Also, if they can keep maintaining the 1 minus previous version. But localization team cannot cover whole releases, so they need to have their own focus. So So far, we are happy with their own focus. So, for instance, Arabic team can maybe can try to keep up the latest one. If there's new version, then you are moving to the new version, not remain the previous versions. Actually, Korean localization team are doing in this way. So we try to make better for the latest version only.
Gotcha. So if we're in a situation where we're working on the current version and a new Kubernetes release is out, we would switch the priority to work on that instead, bringing over any work that we are able to.
Yeah, we are doing that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Soko.
Welcome. And I agree with Abhi regarding the duplication policy. I don't want to remove the localized document. Actually, the localized document, we gave lots of effort from few contributors. So maybe we can disable existing documents, but hope to not remove the whole document. So maybe we can apply some kind of issue stale policy when GitHub issue over 60 days without any interaction and 90 days without interaction, then we start to close automatically those issues, right? Maybe you can apply those strategy in our localized document. I mean, outdated localized document. Currently, we just check whether there is a newer English version than the localized version, and if there is newer English version, then we just show the outdated possibility notification to the localized page. But maybe we can apply some time period for the message automatically. And maybe if the whole localization is not active, then we start to discuss whether to disable whole localization language or remove that language. I think we can disable the language from the Hugo TOML configuration. Anyway, I will give more comment on the issue Abhi are going to make. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. I think that's a really great point. I tried to take notes, but I am not good at listening and taking notes at the same time. So if there's any other comments you want to capture within the notes, please add them, and I will work on getting an issue created, and I'll post that out to the localization channel so you can see it as well. The other item that I had here quickly was related, reminded me with the Vietnamese localization situation that it might be a good idea to reach out within the localization Slack channels just to check in with people, remind them that we're here to help and see if there's things that we'll help with. So I'm planning to do that. So if you see a bunch of messages from me, that's what I'm doing. But yeah, that was just to let everyone know that I'm planning on doing that. So if you want to go on to the next item, I think it also goes. So.
Sure. I have two items for the Bengali localization and Arabic localization. First of all, for the Bengali localization is, I guess, about to be finished for the initial live localization. So I hope to share the status of the Bengali localization now, and I thought it can be a good reference for Arabic as well. So if you check the, okay, can I share my screen? Thanks. let me show the current status. Okay, actually, I didn't participate in the previous effort in Bengali localization, but we recently requested help related with some branching issues. So I thought the Bengali localization, their work already finished, so they're about to merge their work into main branch. When we merge development branch into main branch, we think it is kind of live document. So I checked for the previous histories. So the Bengali localization started from this umbrella issue, and they actually covered various tasks. In Dev 123 BN1, but Dev 123 BN1 already have lots of merge conflict. Not lots of. There are few merge conflict. So Bengali localization team could not manage the merge conflict situation. So I resolved that merge conflict, and I created a PR for them. So this branch that I created is actually based on Dev 123 BN1 branch, upstream branch, and I rebased it with latest main branch. So you can check several things. The feature branch, it is my local feature branch, and it is result of rebasing upstream PN1 onto the latest main branch. And reason I rebased it is that the main branch and dev BN branch has conflict. So I manually resolved some merge conflict within these parts. And I think Arabic team also will face the similar issues when they are going to finish their job. And actually, this PR has just one commit, and this one commit is very large commit. I squashed all their jobs in their development branch into one commit. The reason why I squashed those those commits is because when Bengali team to contribute and approve, they didn't use squash merge method sometimes. So previous the more than 100 commit are actually there are some redundant and irrelevant commit messages inside. For instance, their own languages. So our repository does not accept those commit histories. We already have lots of commit histories. So I decided to squash into one commit, but we don't have to do this job if the development branches commit history are well maintained. I mean, one PR has one commit, then we don't have to squash the all localized jobs. Anyway, I did this one. So Yeah, yes. So this one resolves this kind of situation, but I got here actually there are build error, build failure in this branch, and now team actually take over the helping Bengali team and going on to this one to fix some Bengali issues here to the upstream dev 124 BN1 branch. And I think Kim is trying to use this PR that try to merge the upstream dev branch into upstream main branch directly. So I think it is about to be finished soon. And I'm going to participate also if I need it for the finalizing this work. So the reason why I share this Bengali localization status is that it is already a final stage, and also I think it is helpful the example to Arabic localization members. Is there any question or any suggestion during this finalizing job? I guess not. So let's move to the Arabic localization section. And yeah, in case of Arabic localization, I think Ali already understand and know well. But let me explain briefly. And I also created an issue for Arabic localization. Early this issue, umbrella issue, to get the minimal viable Arabic localization right. And I actually, I'm one of the maintainer of CNCF Cloud Native Glossary. So I built the localization environment, and I included many localizations already. But actually, I'm contributing to Korean localization in the Kubernetes website, but I didn't have the other localization team actively so far before I became this role. I got this role. And so I tried to check current localization document here and try to find out what is the whole and what is the actually actionable items from this document. So I identified the actionable items here. So I'm keep track the status and check. So we are here, we are around these situations, and Arabic localization team actually participated in these issues. And once for checklist is checked it, and I think the first Arabic localization is live. So I'm also intended to use this kind of template for the new localization. And I'm going to keep updates for both issue as well as this localization guide document. Okay, it is to share current status, why I opened this issue and how to utilize. And why I deeply involved in this Arabic localization is that I checked the previous attempt from Arabic localization, and I thought the effort was not sustainable. I think there are many nice and great contributions and contributors, but I think they are not concentrated. They came different periods, so somehow their effort has been distributed, and now it is not sustainable. So I think we should bring all the effort and all the contributors here so that we can check all the processes. And the important thing is not initiating their localization team and localized document. The most important thing is make it sustainable. It is very hard. Korean localization team also facing this kind of very hard issue. They are hard to keep watching and keep updating the document. Is very hard. So you don't have to include the contents that have the destiny for the duplication. So anyway, I'm now try to gather all currently active Arabic members here, and then the PRs related with this minimal viable localization. And as you can see, many are participated already, and I think this PR list we need to watch and check frequently. This one is very great PR, but including too many files and configurations. So if we don't clear this PR, we cannot go forward. So currently, I think this PR is not does not getting the active response. But I suggested to the author, PR author, to break some content and share their effort with all teams. I think Ali can lead the local meeting, right? During the meeting, I hope you can somehow share and distribute your jobs and contributions arrangement.
Yeah, that sounds good, Soko. So first of all, thanks for putting together that issue, right? It's helping us a lot, just have a lay of the land. And I agree with you. So the last time we met, which was I think about 2 weeks ago, Mohammed Bukhalfa, his responsibility was opening up that PR. So we opened it up, and now we have all this content to split up and then work through reviewing and completing. I'm very happy to keep driving that forward. I'm starting to see how I'm starting to recognize now how difficult your work is, sort of gathering people together to get things done. So thank you, I guess, for being here, and wish us luck. But yeah, I'm having a call tonight with Safe, hopefully, to split off a piece, and then we have our next meeting. I believe it's going to be this Thursday. And hopefully during that time I'll bring this up, and we'll by the time we meet next in this meeting, hopefully all of the content from this pull request, or sorry, the Mohammed Bukhalfa's old pull request will have been split out into smaller reviewable chunks.
Yeah, also to be reviewers or approvers, the member need to be Kubernetes GitHub organization members, which requires contributions to our repository or organization. So as I mentioned in here, during this initial Arabic localization job, we need to somehow select or get suggestions for the reviewer and approval candidates, and to make it test, to make the process test, you need to be you need to be the GitHub organization member, so need to show the contribution histories. So making this kind of separated PRs and separated issues is also great to address you are capable of review or approve things. So don't hesitate to open the issue and PRs. Also, it is not limited to the Arabic localization. You can check the other languages as well as the English or site configuration. If you find any missing guidelines, for instance, this one, if some misleading sections, if you find, you can open and fix the issues. So maybe you can share to the those reviewer candidate. Actually, I mentioned here. Please try to review PRs open for the Arabic. You don't have to be reviewer. You don't have to be official reviewer or approvers. You can just discuss what is good way for that PR. That's enough. That's good record for the contribution.
Gotcha. That sounds good, Soko. It seems like with the current troop, there might be a little bit of lead up work needed before we can actually get to the points where where we have reviewers and approvers. What I have done is just today I'm trying to make some outreach to the folks on the cloud native localization team to come and join our efforts here, just because they've been doing it for longer, so they have more experience with, I suppose, with technical writing in that language. Everyone on our team is fluent in Arabic, but spoken Arabic and written Arabic are very different. So that's also a challenge that we're facing. While we're on the topic of this issue, I think there's actually a few steps in there, Soko, that have already been completed that haven't been checked just yet. Is there a way for us to update the description, or is that something that you will be responsible for?
Oh, right.
Soko, can you hear me?
Pardon?
My
You
bad.
mean-
Yes, forgive me. Yes, my question was, or my comment was, in the GitHub issue that you created, there are some steps that have been completed already. I think step number 7. We can go ahead and check that off, I believe.
Oh yeah, sure. You can check the content itself and localize the pages itself, and you can cover anything
Mhm.
from the listed. So I think you mentioned this one, right?
Yes,
And
that
it
one's
is ongoing?
complete. I think configuration for the new, that one's complete actually. That one just merged. Safe reviewed it, and it is in.
It is not merged yet, right? And
The
several individual documents has been merged, and some are in the working in progress status.
Yeah, that's right. I do think the first one of those is merged, though.
This one, yeah, some parts
Yes.
of sure. And I also heard from Kim, uh, Arabic is the first language that are going to be included in Kubernetes website that using the right to left to right style.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard there is some issues regarding configuring that part also, and I'm sure team and QM somehow help, and if they cannot, then I will help. So I also try to find out what is the problem. You know, Kubernetes website use Hugo for the site generation tool, but we don't use the upstream Hugo directly, so we don't update the latest one. I think the CNCF Cloud Native Glossary already supported the right to left writing style, because the repository directly use the Hugo and apply the latest changes. But Kubernetes website is much more complicated and has lots of features. So I'm not sure it can be handled quickly and easily, but you know, we have many experts here, so you don't have to worry. So let's go make the progress by opening PRs and reviewing and merge to your development branch.
I think that sounds good. Thank you, Soko.
I was
Okay,
trying to find, I was just trying to find an issue. I don't know that we have a specific issue about making sure we have support for the right to left support. I thought there was an issue because I remember Tim talking about this a couple of months ago or a year ago. You might need to create an issue at some point so that we can, for whatever issues that if there's something comes up with formatting or some sort of styling problem as you are creating PRs, just please make an issue and flag it as something that you would need help with or to be done with, but before your localization goes live. I was trying to share it. I thought there was an issue already. I don't think there's specifically one about creating like that. But yeah, so if it does come up, please make sure to create an issue.
Yeah, I think team already created a related issue, whether to try to check what is the difference between the current Kubernetes website configuration for the Hugo and the upstream Hugo, and what is our essential point that requires from the upstream Hugo. So I think I saw an issue, but it is not concentrated for the right to left language only. So maybe we can separate it from those large umbrella issue. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, I covered those two issues, and I think there's no remaining issues. But I just remember that I need to say to Abby and other SIG docs lead. Currently, Abby and I don't have. We cannot approve the PRs from the localization languages, related with localization languages, but I thought we sometimes need to use approval for the other localization teams. I'm approval of Korean localization team, but I cannot approve other contents. But sometimes we need So I'm going to propose to having the kind of approval capability for all languages, but I hope not included in English reviewer. I'm not capable of reviewing English reviews. So maybe we need to be accepted from the regular or the automatically assigning the issues for the English document. So how about that, Abby?
Yeah, I think that is a good idea because there are cases where it'd be useful to help approve and move along some localization issues that are stuck. But yes, it gets a little bit sticky in not getting full access to be approving or on the list of approvers for like the English language one. So I am not versed in the GitHub permissions, but I'm sure there's a way to set that up that we'd be able to help a little bit. So yeah, I think if we have an issue or something, we can talk to the SIG docs chairs about that, just to see what can be done.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Yes, yep. I think that's all from our agenda list. So could you summarize, Abby?
Yes. So thank you all for participating. Do we have, does anyone have any other questions about anything they want to chat about that maybe wasn't on the agenda?
All good from this side. Thank you, folks.
No, I don't have any question. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. We've reached the end of the agenda, so we can stop the recording. And then I think I can send you all off. Thank you all for participating, like I mentioned, and hope you have a good rest of the week. And I'll see you in Slack and I'll next month. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.